Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Model Kit Review. In today's fun in-process model kit review, we'll be looking at the Tamiya 1/48 scale North American RAF Mustang III. This is Tamiya kit number 61047. This kit was originally released in 1995, and my boxing is from 1997. In this video, I'll give you a brief history of the Mustang III. We'll also go through the kit instructions and talk about any potential problem areas to watch out for during construction. We'll look at the detailing on the small parts that make up the interior of the aircraft and the landing gear. We'll also look at the surface detail on the exterior of the kit, and we'll look at the fit of the major parts of the kit as well. We'll look at the color and marking options that are included in this kit. We'll also take a look at the decals themselves. We'll talk about the quality and the performance of those. Additionally, I'll mention any aftermarket items that I plan to use during this build. A brief history of the RAF Mustang III. In 1940, the Packard Motor Company of the U.S. began licensed production of the Merlin V1650-1 engine in Detroit. Simultaneously, both England and the United States decided to trial the Merlin engine in the Mustang airframe, and the combination of the Merlin engine in the excellent North American airframe led to one of the most successful fighter series of the war. The Merlin Mustang first flew on November 30th of 1942 as the P-51B. The Mustang was 50 miles an hour faster than it had previously been, and the service ceiling was higher by 10,000 feet. The large internal fuel capacity of the Mustang gave it incredible range. Armament on the Mustang III consisted of 4 50 caliber Browning machine guns, in addition to external fuel tanks and bombs. Looking at the instructions, in step 1 we are building the cockpit area of the aircraft. The parts here seem to be reasonably well detailed. The detailing on the instrument panel consists of raised detail for the instrument gauges. Tamiya also provides an instrument panel decal. They also provide a decal for the seat belts on the seat. I will probably not use these. Instead, I'll probably use some photo etch pre-painted seat belts from Eduard. In step 2, we're painting the sidewall detail on each fuselage half, and then we're joining the fuselage halves around the interior of the aircraft. The fit of the fuselage halves to one another looks very nice, and the detailing on the interior of this kit is certainly acceptable for the scale. In step 3, we're adding the engine exhaust. We're also adding the upper engine cover to the kit and the oil cooler inlet underneath the nose. This looks very straightforward. Test fitting, part A26, that's the upper engine cover, to the nose. It looks like it will fit just fine. I like that the panel lines fall on natural seams here. In step 4, we're attaching the lower wing to the fuselage, and we're also installing the wheel wells to the lower wing. Detailing on the wheel wells of this kit looks nice. This area isn't 100% accurate. I think on the production Mustangs, the vertical surface on the rear of the wheel well openings is actually recessed a little bit inside the wing. In step 5, we're adding the upper wings to the kit. We're also adding the tail planes to the kit. Looking at the fit of these parts, they fit excellently. I honestly think you can get an almost filler-free build on this kit if you take your time and clean the parts up and assemble them carefully. In step 6, we're adding the flaps to the kit. We're also adding the bomb racks and the radiator inlet and outlet to the kit. I don't anticipate any issues here. In step 7, we're assembling the main landing gear. Although these parts are not super detailed, the detail that is there looks nice, and I think these will look great once they're painted and detailed out a little bit. In step 8, we're attaching the landing gear as well as the inner gear doors. We're also building the bombs. The stores in this kit include the 500-pound bombs. They also include long-range fuel tanks. In step 9, we're building the prop. We're also attaching the rear glass to the canopy. And in step 10, we're attaching the prop and the forward section of the canopy to the kit. The clear parts that are included with this kit look very nice. There are several optional parts included. These are the Malcolm hood, depending on what marking option you choose. You also have the standard canopy, and you can pose that either open or closed. Looking at the color and marking guides, there are 4 marking options included with this kit. The first 3 marking options are for the standard British marking scheme of dark green and ocean gray over light gray. The final marking option is for an all silver aircraft. Looking at the decals themselves, these seem to be in register, they seem to be opaque. My only concern with these is that sometimes the Tamiya decals are on the thick side, and they take quite a bit of setting solution to get them to settle in properly to the surface detail. Looking at the surface detail on the exterior of the kit, what is there is very nicely engraved detail. There's recessed panel lines, there's recessed rivet detail. And while the riveting isn't as extensive as it would be on an Eduard Mustang, I think the surface detail on this kit will look fine under a coat of paint. As I said earlier, the fit of the major parts looks very nice, the clear parts look nice, the decals are well printed, and I really don't see any potentially problematic areas of this build. I think Tamiya has done a very good job of balancing a low parts count with a reasonable amount of detail. And although this kit has been superseded by the newer Eduard Mustangs, I honestly think the Tamiya Mustang III is going to be the better choice for modelers with less experience and even modelers of intermediate skill levels. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If any of you out there have built the Tamiya Mustang III or P-51B, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative. And until next time, model on.